Welcome to the Rob and Kale podcast. Rob Sanders.
Clemson is going to kick the shit out of the South Carolina Gamecocks probably for the next 10 years every time they run across each other.
Kale Carolina Jackpot Hall.
The South Carolina Gamecocks are weaker than a plate full of piss.
The Rob and Kale podcasts.
Let's
go. And welcome into the Rob and Kale podcast. I'm Rob Sanders. Tonight we are going to talk about the Gamecocks. We're going to talk about, can they break some streaks? I want to welcome in my podcast partner who is up at the Big L.
The Big L.
Gamecock YouTuber on the planet, Mr. Carolina Jackpot, Kale Hall. Kale, what's up, buddy?
What's up, guys? Happy hump day to you.
So we're going to get after it tonight. We're going to talk about South Carolina and their losing streaks and what they've got to do to break some of those streaks. And then, of course, we'll take some phone calls. First, let's thank our sponsors, Callaway's Bar and Grill out in West Columbia, Highway 1, diagonal from the Walmart. And you can go there and get yourself some retro video games, beer, liquor, all kinds of good stuff at Callaway's Bar and Grill, callawaysbarandgrill.com. And we have story time with Uncle Jackpot. Jackpot's going to tell us a story. This is from DNC Trucking and Transport. Jackpot, read away.
All right. Sucks to be a Gamecock. We can do a whole entire show about the Gamecocks losing. I remember many Gamecock losses throughout my life. I like to call it the timeline of suck. It sucks to be a Gamecock. Go Tigers.
That message courtesy of Dennis Wilson, DNC. We appreciate Dennis for sponsoring the show. All right, Jackpot. So the Gamecocks have losing streaks, big-time losing streaks to Clemson, to Texas A&M, who they have never beaten since they joined the SEC. Who else have they got a losing streak to? I think the Kentucky thing, Kentucky's won, 4 out of the last 5, something like that?
Yeah, they've won 2 in a row. 2 in a row.
Oh, okay. So, of those streaks, and Mizzou's won 2 in a row, right?
3.
Shit. Of those streaks, Jackpot, which one do you want to go away the most?
Well, all of them, honestly, but you've got to break that Clemson streak, man. We just have to. The Gamecocks desperately need a win over the Clemson Tigers.
In the grand scheme of things, what would bring you more, though? Breaking that streak to Clemson, or finally getting a win over Texas A&M, or the Mizzou, getting a win over Mizzou and Kentucky and vaulting yourself up into the upper portion of the SEC East?
Yeah, they've got to break these streaks against Mizzou and Tennessee this year. I feel pretty confident that's definitely going to happen. No reason why it shouldn't. Neither one of them has a damn defense, and we finally have an offense. So it would seem looks pretty good on paper. Ending those streaks this year, I think pretty much a given. But you got to get that win against Clemson, man. Take the state back at least for a year. Curb stomp. Look, Wesley Abrams over in the track. Can't wait till we curb stomp y'all this year. Yeah, like last year they rode a defensive end throwing an interception. They rode that to a blowout victory. Had that not gone that way, South Carolina had went in there and made that a 14-7 game. The outcome of that game would have been totally different. I truly believe that. Don't you? You truly seen, one play, can have a tremendous outcome or a tremendous effect on the outcome of a game. It's unreal.
It really did. And here's the thing that's different between this year's team and last year's team. Last year's team's offense, you were working with a grad assistant. This year's offense is you were trying to generate some sort of a spark. So yeah, Jordan Birch is a heck of an athlete. Let's try to get him in some space and see if he can do something. Hi to Beth watching the show. But no, in reality though, if South Carolina scores there, I think them hillbillies are sweating a little bit. I really do.
Yeah, and then we kicked the ball off to them, got a little bit of momentum. Maybe they dropped the kickoff. That just changes a lot of things, a lot of dynamics. There's been a lot of momentum swinging plays against Tennessee the past 3 years. None of them which have gone our way. So, they rode the block punt for a touchdown to a victory a few years ago up there. So,
right. Well, of those streaks, which one do you think has the capability to go away first? Would it be Kentucky, Mizzou, or Tennessee,
well,
or
it would be
Texas
Mizzou
A&M?
because we play Mizzou first.
No, but I mean, which one do you think has the better shot of going away?
It's a toss up between Mizzou and Tennessee. To be honest with you, I'm not overly impressed with either one of those clubs.
Well, I think I would feel more confident in Mizzou. Mizzou is in Columbia this year, and then if I had to rank them,
as is Tennessee.
yeah, I would go Mizzou, Tennessee, Kentucky, Texas A&M, and then Clemson. Because I think A&M's on the road this year, right?
No.
Okay, well, I'll still have it about right there. So, the Gamecocks haven't won in Lexington since 2012. Did you know that?
I did.
Yeah. So, getting that game is kind of a big deal. If it were at South Carolina, I'd feel a lot better about it. But Wesley says Tennessee almost broke the scoreboard last year, and so did fucking Purdue, Wesley. Purdue just
Bible
scored.
Belt Beauties, Louisiana Tech is more likely to be. Just stop, okay? Just quit being stupid. You don't believe that. That's ridiculous.
What did he say?
He says Louisiana Tech is more likely to beat Clemson than Carolina. That's just retarded.
Look, I don't think South Carolina has a snowball's chance in hell, but I think they're a better team than Louisiana Tech, to be completely honest.
Well, I mean, Clemson's got to produce some offense this year. I mean,
that's true. Cocky Twan says, Rob, did you see how the See Philly Spurs Up show creep got bashed on Twitter?
yes.
I mean, the short answer is yes. The crazy thing about that is that he tweeted out something that was completely contradictory to what he said from before. And all people had to do was go back to his timeline, screenshot it, and said, but you said this before. And he kind of got caught with his pants down, basically.
Well, it would be different. I mean, with me, first of all, I think, I don't know. I will go off a little bit, especially when I get to drinking. But I try not to trash our players if I can help it. I mean, sometimes it just happens that way. But with him, it's like you either love him or you hate him. I'm neutral. I mean, it doesn't matter to me. But like he what was his name? Cam Smith. He tweeted something out. I guess it was toward the end of the 2020 season. That was when, everybody had given up. And he was like, remember when he used to be a highly regarded player? Good times.
Yeah.
And then he, I don't know. It's just, he has a large following. So like everybody is going to remember and screenshot all the bullshit that you put out there.
Anything that you say can come back and get you. I mean, that's just the way that it is. But this wasn't one thing. This was several things. So, it was, it's not necessarily the best thing. I mean, and it was, man, he got popped really good. I was like, my God, how did this happen? So anyway, I want to respond to something Wesley said there about Williams-Brice Stadium being Neyland East. So when you really think about it, South Carolina is behind in that series 28-10, right? But the games at home, South Carolina has won, let's see here. One, two out of the last three at home.
Yep.
So 3 out of the last 4, 4 out of the last 5, 5 out of the last 6. So since 2008, they've won 5 out of the last 6 games at Williams-Brice Stadium. So the idea that that is Neyland East is far-fetched, sir.
He's living in an alternate universe. It's okay.
No, I mean that's just the way that it is. And Billy's correct. Tennessee shit years, I'll give you that. But to say that it's Neyland East would mean that you've won more than once.
Well, how about this, Billy? How about this? In the 90s, South Carolina shit years.
That's fair. South Carolina did not beat Tennessee until 2000. Whoa, hold on. Let's see here. 1992. Now, look, if we just go with the SEC when they got into the league in 92.
We were in the SEC.
Beat them the first year you were in the SEC. That game was in Columbia. And then they went on a streak of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 straight until 2004. If we go from just 2005 up, which we could call 2 different eras of Tennessee football and South Carolina football, South Carolina's 1, 2, 3, 4, 7, and let's see here, 7, 6, 7, and 8, 7. They're 7 and 10 against the Vols since 2005. That's pretty close. So the idea that you completely own them, you're leaning on the fact that you won all those games when they got into the league. So there's that. Anyway, not
I
trying
love it when someone comes with facts.
Well, I mean, look, and it just shows, first of all, it shows where Tennessee's program was and where Tennessee's program is. Okay. When the uptick in South Carolina's program, that's why the Gamecocks won all those games. And they've, that long winning streak from Tennessee is the reason they have the lead in the series. But in the end, especially here lately, since 2005, it's been very competitive. It hasn't been.
You remember when that blue tick hound bit at? I'm not sure if he made contact, but he bit at one of the players, South Carolina players back in the 90s.
I do. Yeah, I do. Yeah, I remember that.
It was a wild. They came down. I mean, animal control was coming to get that son of a bitch, and they were going to lock him up. And the hillbilly cheerleaders grabbed him. They rushed him off, and they hit him somewhere. I guess in the damn bathroom or something back there. I don't know, but they didn't get to him, so he got to go back to Tennessee. But I was sure I'd have stood there all night looking for that son of a bitch.
Eric says South Carolina would beat Mizzou and Kentucky before Tennessee.
Oh, okay. Good Lord!
I think it's different with Tennessee.
Pat yourself up on the back there, buddy. Pat yourself on the back.
Wesley says their current coaching staff is garbage. Wesley's just trolling. That's what Wesley's doing. Come on, man.
The former coaching staff was garbage.
By the way, so Tom brought it up on the line today on the show, and he was talking about Torian Gray. Torian Gray has had 3 straight NFL draft picks coming out of that secondary.
Yeah.
And to say the coaching staff is garbage when they're putting guys in the NFL, they're convincing preseason Heisman candidates to come in and play quarterback. They can't be that much of garbage. Just saying.
Did you see that Jamie Robinson is like a first or wherever you want to look, first or second team preseason all ACC?
Yeah, at Florida State, right?
Didn't he? And I was in a little battle with somebody on Twitter last night. I was like, well, yeah. I'm like, well, you remember, you do know that he kind of cost them that game against Jacksonville State where he was loafing on the last play, where Jacksonville State tore that touchdown. I mean, it's fucking right there on color television. I mean, you can go back and watch it on YouTube if you'd like. He did. I mean, he loafed on the last play, and Jack State won that ball game. But they're like, "Oh, you're just butt hurt because he left South Carolina." I'm like, "Oh, fucking my butt hurt because he left South Carolina. We got our own damn decent secondary. I don't fucking need him. Shit, he want to be here." He was the one who tweeted something out. Probably, I don't know, at the 1st of November last year when it became apparent that Florida State still sucks. He tweeted out like a Spurs up. I don't know. He did something like as if to say, "I wish I'd stayed home" or something. Yeah.
Right. I know what you're talking about. Aaron says South Carolina was closer to beating Kentucky than they were Tennessee last year. Yes, sir. The Kentucky. First of all, two things. South Carolina has got a quarterback this year. Okay. Jordan Birch is not going to be throwing passes, and the game will be at Williams-Brice Stadium. Completely different setup. I don't know. I mean, come on, man. I mean, it's getting to the point where it's like I understand that Tennessee fans are excited, but there are some factual things that are here that we need to put out into the mix. You haven't played very well at Williams-Brice lately. It's just the way that it is.
While I'm thinking about it, they came out yesterday. It was New Ticket Tuesday in North Carolina. They came out with a new series of tickets. Check out the name of those son of bitches.
Carolina jackpot. That's hilarious.
It was hilarious when I saw that.
Big Barney Ross says South Carolina needs to outscore their opponents in order to stop the losing streak. Very good, sir. I think Big Barney Ross is correct.
You know who has horrible lottery tickets? What state does? Fucking Tennessee. No shit. I'm not just hating on them. They're terrible. Wesley Abrams says ECU almost dog walked USC last year. Almost. Only counts in horseshoes and hand grenades.
By the way, quick shout out to Big Barney Ross. He sent me it's a ham, right? Yeah, he sent me a ham for my birthday. Thank you for that, Big Barney Ross.
A ham?
Hold on, I'm gonna go get it and I'll show it to you. Hold on. Entertain the people, Jackpot.
Oh man. So he's going to get a ham. This should be interesting. Since she shouldn't even show up at WB this fall. Yeah, well, you might be onto something there. Probably wouldn't. Revenge Tour 22. Papa B says we love you. Well, I love you too. No homo.
Yes, it's big, baby.
He can't find it. Did she already eat it? Jackpot, you may have a copyright lawsuit against it. I know. Hey, you know what? This is true. Could you imagine if I sued the North Carolina Lottery and they settled out of court? Ooh. You might be onto something. Because I'm always looking for ways to not work.
Big Barney Ross sent me a big ass country ham. There you go. It's brown sugar cured, aged over what? I don't know what it says. Aged over 90 days. It says Ozark something. So anyway, Big Barney Ross hooking me up with a ham.
That's awesome.
The hat says howdy, I want that. The wife's gonna have to cook this thing because I don't know how to cook it. So we'll have to figure that out.
It's already cooked.
What?
It's already cooked, sir.
Oh, is it already cooked? Okay, well shit.
Yeah, you dumbass. It's already fucking cooked. You just gotta warm that damn thing up.
All right, well then we'll get the wife to warm the damn thing up, and
It's
we'll
cured.
go from
Yeah.
there. My Delta says it's almost as big as your head. Is it as? I don't think it's as big as my head. Come on now, I've got the pumpkin head. Man.
he said she's going out to cook it.
I don't know. He just sent me a ham. I guess we just we just warm it up and slice it. Hell, I don't know.
Well, that's pretty much it, I believe.
Well, we're gonna eat the damn ham this weekend. There you go. Let me go put it back
We'll
in the
just sell those at Angles. Those things right there are those things. If they go bad in the bag, hanging on the they're normally on a rack back in front of the meat department. If they go bad, you can smell that thing from a damn mile away, and they'll be green on one side. Fucking stink.
Like I'm supposed to know the damn thing had to be cooked. Shit, I
They're
don't know.
really not cheap either. The hat says, "Oh no, Big Barney Ross has got something in that man purse."
Yeah.
Question: You know what? What's the deal with this? It's a little known fact. Everybody calls the South Carolina USC Junior, but meanwhile, though, USC Senior is still searching for a revenge win against the Gamecocks because they left some unfinished business on the table with us last time, meaning we kicked their ass last time we played them on a football field. So I don't know how we're junior.
Wait a minute. When was that, Jackpot?
1983.
Oh, okay. I mean, all right.
Joe
They stopped
Morrison
scheduling you.
38-14 Gamecocks. Look it up. The stadium started swaying that night.
Rob says USC is a reputable institution. Fair enough. Look, maybe Jackpot's got a point. Maybe Southern Cal stopped scheduling South Carolina. They didn't want any more of that. Nah, we don't need any of that. We'll just play fucking Stanford and be left the hell alone.
There
Maybe
you
that's
go.
what it is.
Remember, I told you they played them in 1980 in the Coliseum, and USC won like 17-10. And then it was a home and home. They played in Columbia in '83, and them Gamecocks won, baby.
Yeah, they were ducking South Carolina. They don't want any more of that. They're like, the hell with all that. It was nothing. By the way, when they won in 1980, it was nothing they did.
No, it wasn't. Quick quiz in that 1983 season, Rob. I'll give you three guesses. First two don't count. Joe Morrison's first game as a head coach at South Carolina was a home game, and we lost 28-3. Who was the opponent?
East Carolina.
No.
Wasn't the Citadel.
No. What the fuck? It's a Power 5 team.
Okay, I wasn't being a smartass. I'm just saying it wasn't the Citadel. I thought it was East Carolina because they normally scheduled them early in the season. So if it's a Power 5 team, I'm going to go with North Carolina.
Damn, it was.
Look at that. See there? I had it. There you go. I knew that they normally at the beginning of the season they would schedule East Carolina or North Carolina back then. And 28-3. I don't remember the game, but yeah. Did you go to that game?
I don't believe I did. I don't recall that one. But you remember 2 years before that, the Gamecocks won at North Carolina 31-13 when they were ranked number 2 in the country. How the fuck that ever happened? I don't know.
Rob says I'm a savant. Yeah, I'm trying. Ball Steak says none of my cars have AC. Got to get them fixed. Yeah, you got to work on that, brother. Do y'all need AC in Tennessee? I mean, shit, you got hills up there. Just drive fast down the hills with your windows open. Maybe that's the way to go. All right, Jackpot, you want to take calls? Let's take some calls.
Sure.
And phone lines are open, 803-470-2905, 803-470-2905. That's the number to dial if you'd like to join us here on the program this evening. As we're getting closer and closer to football season, Jackpot. It's not that far away. 803-470-2905, 803-470-2905.
Baylor man says it's been 100 plus in Central Texas this week. Holy shit. It's been hot down here too. And I told you this area down here is like 100 degrees. I mean, it's like swamp ass central. So it's very uncomfortable. And there was a damn storm that came through down here today. It's probably, I was in Mullins, South Carolina today, and that's probably give or take an hour from the beach. So you get that beach rain and stuff, and there was a damn storm that came through. It only lasted like 20 minutes. But that fucking thunder hit, and damn, it damn jolted me out of my seat almost. The damn lights flickered the damn store. I'm like, oh, it's raining sideways. I'm like, shit, get me out of here.
Yeah, it's been interesting to say the least with this heat that's been out there now. It's crazy. So Cockadoodle Doo says it's going to be 107 right now in Phoenix.
Ooh.
All right.
Well, that's not, that heat is different though, isn't it, than what we feel out here? Like if it was 107 here, you wouldn't even be able to go outside. I don't think. But that is like dry heat.
All right, let's go to the phones. Welcome into the program. Good evening.
Hey guys, Dr. Bark here.
Hello,
I
Dr.
just
Bark.
wanted to talk a little bit. Obviously, not a lot of news in the off season, but the latest big thing has been the whole Arch Manning recruitment. We can't hear enough of that, right? But I'm going to make the prediction. I think he's going to go to Georgia, and here's why. So all the recruiting analysts have been saying it's between Texas and Georgia. Alabama, I know, Rob, I've listened to your show during the week, and you think it's going to be Alabama. Now,
Yeah, that's just
I'm sure
just
they
a guess,
still
by
would
the way.
take him.
It's not anything that I've put out there. People are thinking it's not going to be Alabama because they signed a 4-star quarterback. Nick Saban gives zero damns. Remember, this is the same team that had Tungaviola, the kid from last year. What was the guy that won the Heisman? And then of course, Bryce Young too. So had all three quarterbacks in the same room. I mean, at one point. So they just stack teams down there at Alabama. So that, I don't think.
Yeah, no.
Anyway,
It's not about the quarterback talent. I just would be very skeptical that Arch Manning would go in to a class that's already signed a quarterback in his same class or a quarterback commit.
Respectfully, though, Arch Manning, when he looks at what Georgia has done and said, look, there's 2 5-star quarterbacks that are sitting on the bench behind a guy that is okay. I mean, he's not as highly touted. I mean, someone has to be telling him, hey, do you really want to go there and have the possibility of sitting? I mean, that may happen. Now, if he goes in and he lights the world up, then it's completely different, but who knows?
For sure. I mean, I think it seems like obviously the big three the whole time have been Alabama, Texas, and Georgia. And it seems like from the recruiting analysts that Texas and Georgia have kind of separated themselves. And honestly, I don't know if he's going to start right away at any of those programs. And I mean, I know he would want to start, but and I mean, also, I mean, I don't know what recruiting service you use, but I'll use the 24/7 Sports Composite just because to be consistent. But the only 5-star quarterback on Georgia's roster currently is Brock Vandegrift. Gunner was a 5-star at one time, but he was downgraded to a 4-star. And then Carson Beck is also a 4-star. And then, of course, Stetson Bennett is a 2-star. But it doesn't matter anyway. But I think also there's no one on Georgia's roster right now that's rated as high as Quinn Ewers. So that might be a factor too. And so we'll see. I don't know. What do y'all think? Excuse me.
I mean, the chat room is pretty much lighting it up here. Everybody's saying that Stepson Bennett Christ brother will start over Arch Manning if he goes to UGA.
Yeah, that's true.
What do you think, Jackpot? Go
Well, he's out of eligibility by that time, thankfully.
ahead. I mean, Jackpot, what do you think, man? You think that Manning's going to go there, or do you think he's going to go somewhere else?
I don't know. Why would you? When you have all that talent, all that potential, why would you want to go somewhere where it's obvious they don't know how to use a quarterback properly? Just don't.
Well, can I respond to that?
I mean,
So,
I respectfully, the Georgia has one of the best offensive lines in the country. But if I had the opportunity to go to Alabama or Georgia and I'm a quarterback, I'm probably going to go to Alabama because look at their track record here in the past 10 years with quarterbacks. I mean, they've been really, really good. So
yeah, I definitely agree with that. The one thing I will say is that Todd Monken was hired as an offensive coordinator in the offseason of 2020. And obviously, I mean, if you don't watch Georgia week to week like I do, and I'm not expecting you to, but the difference in the play calling and just the offensive skill and just they actually have a plan, and he's a good quarterback developer. Now, obviously, he's not had some of the best situation as far as JT was in and out of the injury, but he was just dealing with injuries his entire time. And obviously all he had to work with was really Stetson and some backup guys. But anyway, and I mean, for what it's worth, he did win the national championship. So I think one of the appeals for Arch would be he could be the first guy to break free. He could break through. He could be like Georgia's Joe Burrow. Because you know how LSU languished in having really bad quarterback play for a long time. And it really broke through with Joe Burrow, and he became a legend. So that's kind of what my thinking is. But I agree. I agree that save obviously what they've done at Alabama and even Sarkisian or have better track record with quarterbacks. So I get what you're saying.
I would acknowledge the pesky polls comment, but fuck the pesky poll over there at the comments section. Damn you,
Well, I'll acknowledge it. If Arch went to Clemson, they would develop him as a sexual deviant. Yeah. Could be. The only thing that's going to arch is someone's back.
Oh my God.
Well, have a good night.
Goodbye. Fucking comrade. All right. 803-470-2905. You want to call the program this evening?
Will Shipley, 1,000-yard rusher. Okay, well, whatever. But you better hope so. Y'all need to get some offense from somewhere.
Big Barney Ross says Georgia wins the Natty and immediately wants the quarterback gone. Okay.
Last year, God, what am I trying to say, Rob? Last year, Clemson's best offense in the game against the Gamecocks was the Gamecocks' putrid defense.
Well, I don't know. The South Carolina offense last year wasn't very good, so there's that too.
Can I share with you guys a little video I made last night?
Sure, how about it? Hold on, let me move
around.
Hold on, Jackpot. That way everybody can see it. Go.
Here we go. Hopefully you can hear this. I was messing around. I got this inspiration from a comedian, another YouTuber, but still.
Don't even attempt to come around here and try to wish me a happy Pride Month, because I can guarantee you that I am not going to come wish you a happy Pride Month. I won't be too busy sucking your...
This is a giant cock.
Damn it. You lined it up for me. I don't want to hear it. I went directly into that anyway. All right. 803-470-2905. 803-470-2905. If you'd like to join the program this What? That's still a great clip, by the way.
This is a giant cock.
Shit's funny as fuck. For folks that don't know, can you explain where that's from, Jackpot?
Hold on a minute. I'm gonna.
Oh, Jackpot's playing something else for us. Oh,
Hold on a second.
This is a giant cock.
This is where I got that from.
all right. Here we go. Go ahead.
Are there any straight people out there who would be willing to go fishing with a gay guy?
Bro, does hell go with you? I would love to go fishing with you. I'm actually glad you made this video. We need to normalize bros being bros no matter who they're sexually attracted to. I'm a straight man. I'm secure enough in my manhood where I would never be threatened by who you're attracted to. It's certainly not enough to impact whether I would hang out with you or not. So I guess the only question we have left is, you're lake or mountain? And I hope we don't catch a lot of fish. Because I'm going to be too busy.
This is a giant cock.
Oh.
There aren't very many shows where we can get Jackpot to laugh so hard he turns pink. Holy shit. Oh, man. 803-470-2905. 803-470-2905. If you would like to join the program. Oh, shit.
Oh God.
Joshua says it's like fart noises for children. This is great. Well, you know, we have our petty things that we like.
It was funny. He said, "Well, is you might want to go fishing with a gay guy, bro? Does hell go with you? Yeah, I'd love to go fishing with you." Oh man.
Harry Leg says he will have a stroke. Okay.
I know.
Somebody says Carolina monkeypox. So there you go with that. All right. Well, 803-470-2905. You want to talk about which streak the Gamecocks will break first?
This is a giant cock.
Which one will they break first? Who knows? I'm going with Mizzou, and then downhill from there. So there's that. All right, 803-470-2905. Regionals are this weekend too, Jackpot. Are you following the Super Regionals even though the Gamecocks aren't playing?
The Super Regionals. Yeah, you got who is it? East Carolina. Played Texas.
I think so.
I know East Carolina's playing Texas. I know North Carolina's playing Arkansas. Is that right?
Yeah. Tennessee's got Notre Dame.
Yeah. Ooh.
Yeah.
Touchdown, Jesus.
Tennessee's gotten Notre Dame has gotten, like, in the regional play, they scored 11 runs in regional play, and they won their regional, which tells me one of two things. Either A, they were playing teams that couldn't hit the ball, or B, they had good pitching. And they didn't have to score any more runs in that.
Definitely up to that.
So there's that. Yeah, the hat says Mizzou got a really good recruit. They did. Luther Bowden, who is a guy that a lot of players, a lot of teams wanted. So there's that. Supposedly one of the best.
You said in the regional, and what? So I'm assuming that's what, 3 games. Notre Dame scored a grand total of 11 runs.
Yep, something like that. It's 11 runs in 3 games.
Wow.
I'm going to bring that up just to be sure, but
who was Virginia Tech playing? Was it someone at Oklahoma State?
Yeah, something like that. Hold on, I'm looking at the regional bracket now. Let's see here. So let's look at the bracket here. In the regionals, Can we see the regional bracket? All right, so what the hell? All right, let's see here. So the Notre Dame regional, they played in Statesboro, which was with Georgia Southern. So they scored. Notre Dame scored 3 games in the first 3 runs in the first game. They beat Texas Tech 3-2. 6 runs in the second game. They beat Georgia Southern 6-4, and then 2 runs in the final. So they scored 11 runs in 3 games, and they won their regional with that. There you go, John.
Baylor man says college baseball teams from up north typically suck. You're right. They normally do get like one in the College World Series every year, and they just fizzle out like a wet fart. I think Indiana was in it a couple years ago. Maybe Louisville may have made it. I mean, that's not really up north.
Eric says Drinkowitz reminds him of Napoleon Dynamite's brother Kip. They're identical. I mean, that's I can buy that.
Things are getting pretty serious.
Yeah, things are getting pretty serious. So things are serious right now. Shut up, Napoleon. Anyway. All right. Big Barney Ross says the UCF Knights are stacked. Fair enough on that.
The who?
UCF Knights are stacked. I don't know what he's implying there.
They got a tough schedule next year.
Delta 900 says, meanwhile, you got other teams hardening back to the Gorilla Ball days. Yeah, that's happening a lot too. But it's not really fair just to say Tennessee's a Gorilla Ball team, because they've got some great pitching too. I mean, they're like one of the top teams in the country as far as ERA, and their bullpen's one of the best. So, yeah, it's not that far-fetched to say that they're just solid.
Bottled Up Beauty says Jeff Collins reminds me of Gomer Powell.
Okay.
Would that be let's just say hypothetically, and I just say hypothetically, I'm just throwing this out there and being silly because I know it's not going to happen. If Clemson were to lose in the Mercedes-Benz Dome, if they were to drop and head out of the 50-yard line and lay a big bronze turd and lose to the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets in the opening game of the season, would their season be officially over before it started?
Absolutely. You lose to Georgia Tech, and your season is the shits. And unless Tech goes fucking 12-0, their only loss is to Clemson, then Clemson gets them again in the ACC championship game and beats them. That may save the season. But Jeff Collins doesn't have a good team in there in Atlanta, and I think he knows it.
He doesn't even have he lost his best player. I mean,
yeah.
So I mean,
they're not very special. So
Truth Too Deep says, honestly, South Carolina's problem is Columbia. It's a shithole. I don't know, if I don't know what you're talking about, but okay. Maybe one little area or something that's not nice, kind of like downtown Greenville. It's got a couple of bad areas, but as a whole, it's pretty nice. I mean, as a whole, Columbia is really, really nice. I mean, it's the pearl that is the oyster. It's in the oyster of the state of South Carolina.
Big Barney Ross says, will Brian Kelly speak with a Canadian accent? He might. Bible Belt says Pumachan for Heisman, but I thought that last season Pumachan should have probably gotten some more snaps for Clemson. I really do, especially as bad as he
I think Dabo was just a big pussy, and he was scared to bench Ukulele because he figured him and his daddy would start fucking crying, and he'd be hitting the transfer portal, which, I mean, judging from the way he played last year, I don't know if that would have been such a bad idea. But he'd hit the transfer portal. I wouldn't have a chance to be a big hero and resurrect him. But that's why I think I didn't bench him personally. But then wasn't Pumachan kind of hurt a little bit too?
Well, he ruptured his Achilles tendon in the spring game and came back after that.
See, he's tough. Didn't Deshaun Watson? He did something. Well, no, he tore his knee up at Clemson. But
Right.
I mean, tore an ACL. Yeah, remember when he whipped the coops with one leg?
Eric says they're going to put mustard on Brian Kelly's corn dogs. Okay, terrific. I don't know. That's
What's that?
It's going to be interesting. He says they're going to put mustard on Brian Kelly's corn dogs. It's that whole reference to LSU fans being smelling like corn dogs that Katy Perry said.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Billy wants to know if Deshaun Watson's up to 60 women now. Apparently, he got 66 women to give him massages in 18 months. That, my friends, is a fucking problem. You have 66 women that you've gotten massages from in 18 months, and 24 of them said you did something to them. Something's going on there. I don't know what it is. Something's going on.
Yeah, I mean that's like it's like I mean that's not like the biggest setup in the world. Why would they have chosen him for the world's biggest setup or the world's biggest frame job? I don't. He did something. So
yeah, I don't know. We weren't in the bedroom, and apparently 2 Texas grand juries said, yeah, we don't have enough to convict him, but it's going to cost him some money. I know that it's going to cost him some money, and you know what? He should be he should be on a short leash. I mean, I don't get the whole thing of, let's let it die down. And his attorney's talking about happy endings and massages. You're his attorney. Shut the hell up. So I don't know, man.
he was just very horny.
There's some cutting edge content right there. He's just horny. Very good, Jackpot. You're right.
I bet he was like that. Remember that idiot on the Last Friday movie, the one when he just got out of jail and he's sitting there watching the TV on the couch. He's like, oh yeah, there go Tupac. Boy, you fine. Oh, Tupac. Oh.
Yeah.
You remember that?
Yeah, and the next line was,
This is a giant cock.
God damn.
Which one of y'all gonna wash my drawers tonight? You?
Jesus Christ. All right, Jackpot. I think it's been a good show, man. You have anything else you want to add?
No.
We're gonna have another show on Sunday night.
Delta 900 says don't ever do that again.
It was kind of a
Tupac.
Jesus.
This is a giant cock.
Okay, y'all. We'll see you later.